Hi, this is Mr. Cardoso, and this is video lesson 3. In this video lesson, we are going to create a program, and the purpose of this program is to explain how to output to the screen in Java using system.out.print and system.out.println commands, and the difference between the two. So again, I write my comments at the top, I put the name and the date last modified. So I start by typing the class name. So class, and then I'll give it a name. Let's call it output in Java. Again, notice how I capitalize the first letter of every word in my class name. Okay, I'm going to open the class, and then down below I'm going to close the class, and all my program code must go within the class, and I'm going to have to type public static void main string with capital S args, open close square brackets, and then close. And so just remember, this is part of my skeleton. I have to open and close that, and all my program code must go within here. So this is my basic skeleton as we learned from the last video lesson. So now we have to indent. We're indenting one level to have the method within the class, and then our program code within that method should be indented yet another level. So I'm going to type system.out.println, and I'm going to, so that's my command for outputting, and I'm going to type in, say, hello world, as we did last time, and close quotation, close bracket, and semicolon. Since this is a line of code that will be executed, it's an instruction, we have to put a semicolon. These ones are more structural lines, so there's no semicolons there, but any line of code where we're telling Java, do this, then we must put a semicolon. Now if I go to compile it, again, of course, it's going to prompt me to save my work. So again, within my C drive, within my exercises folder, I'm going to call this output in Java, and it should match the class name. And it does. So I'm going to hit save, and now it's going to compile. So if I go to run it now, you can see it says hello world. So it's outputting something on the screen. Now, if I need to print another line, so let's go ahead and go back to our line of code, and you can copy and paste this line of code. And here we're going to say, let's say, goodbye world. Okay, there we go. So hello world and goodbye world. What's going to happen now? So let's find out. We compile it, and we run it. And it puts hello world on one line of output and goodbye world on another line. So we can have as many system.out.println or output lines as we want. What happens though if we change and we take out, because there's another command called system.out.print. So if I take out the ln, what would happen? So let's find out. Compile and run. Okay, so now it's all going on one line of code. Well, why did that happen? Well, the system.out.print doesn't affect the current line. So hello world still prints the exact same way it did before. But we changed this line of code, not this one. So why did this one move up? Well, what the system.out.print line does is it prints this the same as it normally would, but then it does not move the cursor. It leaves the cursor where it currently was. So it printed hello world, and it left the cursor right there. So then when we came to print goodbye world, it actually printed right beside it. Now, since goodbye world has an ln, if I go to print something next, it's going to come out on the next line below it, regardless of if that next line. Do a system.out.print. And here I'm going to put, let's say, how are you? And now, even though this is a print, where do you think it will output? Well, this is going to print hello world, and because there's no ln here, this goodbye world will come right beside it. But there's an ln here, so then it's going to, after printing goodbye world, it's going to move the cursor to the next line and print how are you. Okay, so let's compile it and prove that. And you can see that's happening there. Now you can see why this little thing is happening. It's because we pressed print instead of print ln. If it was a print ln, this little cursor will come on the next line saying, well, if I were to print something after this how are you, it will go on the next line. Whereas if I take out the ln, it will go right beside it. So let's just prove that now. And run it, and you can see that little cursor now comes below because it's saying print ln, which means move the cursor. After printing this, move the cursor to the next line. So that's simple how to output in Java, the difference between print and println. Join us next time where we will introduce variables.